Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. 18 killed in bus accident in Arghakhachi. Truck overturns in Humla, killing 3. Silence period for by-election begins. Election Commission urges all to abide by election code. Banking system in Nepal becoming insecure. Police busted a new group involved in forging signature to withdraw cash. Bangladesh sentences 7 to death. Court convicts them of 2016 cafe attack. And Messi scores in 700th game for Barca. Chelsea-Liverpool held in Champions League. And now the news in detail. At least 18 persons were killed and 8 others were injured when a passenger bus veered off a cliff at Narapani of Sandikharka Municipality 6 in Arghakhachi district yesterday afternoon. According to police, 12 others were injured in the accident. It has been learned that 16 people died on the spot while 2 others succumbed to their injuries while undergoing treatment. The identities of the deceased are yet to be ascertained. Seriously injured passengers have been taken to Butwal for treatment. Authorities fear that the death toll could still rise. The ill-fated bus was travelling from Sandikharka to Butwal when it met with the accident at around 4 p.m. The bus with a registration number LU2KA2148 fell down 400 meters from the road, informed an eyewitness Manish Adhikari. It is still not clear how many people were travelling in the bus, said police officials involved in the rescue operation. District Police Office Arghakhachi said the bus fell off the road at a narrow turning. Meanwhile, a truck accident in Humla has left 3 people dead and 13 others injured. The truck carrying rice for Nepal Food Corporation to the district headquarters Simikot met with the accident at a Lagna Dara of Simikot Rural Municipality 7, according to police. Chiring Lama and Nori Lama, Tangjot Lama of Namkha village were killed in the accident. The truck with registration number LU4KA3269 fell some 30 meters below the road. The injured are undergoing treatment at the district hospital, informed the police. According to DSP Ram Prasad Kartimagar, most of the injured are in serious condition. The Election Commission has urged all the political parties and the general public to fully abide by the Election Code of Conduct for the upcoming by-poll. The silence period for the November 30 by-election began from last midnight. Organizing a press conference yesterday, the Election Commission urged all the 20 political parties and the voters not to violate the Election Code of Conduct during the silence period. The Election Commission has warned anyone violating the code of taking action as per the Election Offence and Punishment Act 2073. It is also urged the candidates not to canvass votes through social media or any electronic medium. The Election Commission has also informed that all preparations for the by-elections have been completed. The Election Commission has given permission for 4 national organizations to monitor the by-elections. It has also granted permissions to the representatives of the USA, Japan, Australia and European Union to observe the by-election this Saturday. The election officer, deputy election officer and security personnel have already reached the election centers. The by-election is being held to fill the 52 vacant seats, including 1 of the House of Representatives, 3 of the Provincial Assembly and the remaining 48 in the local units. Altogether, 333 candidates are in the election fray. Among them, 253 represent various political parties, while the others are independent candidates. The health condition of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is improving following surgery of appendicitis and peritonitis, informed the doctors involved in his treatment. Issuing a statement yesterday, Executive Director of Manamohan Cardiothoracic Vascular and Transplant Center, Dr. Uttam Krishna Shrestha, said the Prime Minister's health has improved since the surgery 2 days ago. Dr. Shrestha told reporters at the hospital premises that the Prime Minister is capable of communicating properly with the doctors. The Prime Minister is currently at the intensive care unit, said Shrestha. Dr. Shrestha further said that the Prime Minister was removed from ventilator after his health condition improved.
अब मेडिकल कुराहरु धेरै गरिराख्नु जति भएन मैले बुलेटिनमा पनि लेखेको छु स्पष्ट अब कति दिन बस्छ के दिन बस्छ भन्ने कुरा हाम्रो अलिकति स्वार्थ केरा पनि प्रधानमन्त्रीजीलाई केही समय चाहिँ हामीले आराम पनि दिलाउँ भन्ने हिसाबले पनि थोरै हामी केही दिन बढी पनि राख्छौं होला त्यो अन्यथा नलिनु होला हैन तर संक्षिप्तमा उहाँ राम्रो हुनु भएको छ.
Prime Minister Oli was admitted to the hospital on Tuesday morning after complaining of health problems. During examinations, doctors found that he had appendicitis and peritonitis, an infection of the stomach. Following the diagnosis, doctors immediately performed the surgery on him. According to doctors, PM Oli still needs to stay at the hospital for a few more days. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The Indian Women's Association Kathmandu has provided electric vehicles to the Pasupati Area Development Trust to facilitate pilgrims. Secretary of the Indian Women's Association Namrata Puri handed over the 2 high-quality lithium-ion battery-operated electric vehicles with 8 seats to the General Secretary of the Trust, Dr. Pradeep Dhakal. The vehicle was provided to facilitate the pilgrims, especially the elderly people, women, children and differently abled ones in the no-vehicle zone. Puri said the move will help cement the cultural and religious bond that the people of Nepal and India share with each other. Speaking at the program, General Secretary Dhakal said the electric vehicles will help the old and differently abled to reach the temple with ease. Lack of proper attention towards cybersecurity by banks has raised the question of safety of the money deposited by the general public. Bank employees have also been found to be complicit in transferring the money of customers illegally. The hacking of the ATMs by Chinese nationals some month ago and the collusion of Agriculture Development Bank's staff in transferring away millions of rupees has exposed the vulnerability of Nepal's banking system. Police had arrested 6 Chinese nationals in late August for hacking ATMs to steal more than rupees 20 million. Likewise, ADB staffers were involved in stealing 15 million from their own bank. Later, during investigation, it was found that they were planning to steal rupees 5 billion more from different banks. However, banks did not take the issue of cyber security seriously. On Wednesday, police busted another group involved in forging signatures to take away money from the customers without their knowledge. They were found to have withdrawn hundreds of thousands of rupees by forging signatures. Police said they recovered more than rupees 1.9 million from the group. Further investigation is underway. The security mechanism of banks have failed time and again. It is high time that the banks give proper attention to cybersecurity and other kinds of threats, said stakeholders. And now the news from the economic front. The World Bank has decided to provide grant for the development of education sector of Nepal for yet another year. The grant agreement was signed at the Finance Ministry by the Finance Secretary Rajan Khanal and the Country Director of World Bank Faris S. Shebia. According to the agreement, the World Bank is set to provide 2.74 billion rupees for the education sector. The fund is being set up to help run the primary block and support 700,000 students, 160,000 teachers and more than 30,000 community schools. The grant also intends to transform the society and create an environment for every Nepali youth to think independently. The World Bank has so far availed 13.63 billion rupees for this project. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The Bangladeshi court handed death sentences to 7 members of an Islamist militant group yesterday for their role in an attack on a cafe in 2016 that killed 22 people, mostly foreigners, in the South Asian nation's worst such incident. Charges against them were proved beyond any doubt. The court gave them the highest punishment, Reuters quoted public prosecutor Ghulam Sarwar Khan as saying after the verdict. One of the 8 accused was acquitted, he said. A defense lawyer said the convicted men would appeal the charges. After the ruling, they shouted, "Allahu Akbar, God is greatest, and we did nothing wrong," from the dock to a packed courtroom, witnesses said. According to Reuters, 2 were seen wearing prayer caps bearing the insignia of the Islamic State. Authorities opened an investigation into how the caps reached them while they were in police custody. The July 1 attack on the restaurant popular with foreigners in Dhaka's diplomatic area shocked the nation of 160 million and unnerved businesses, including the vital garment export sector and foreign investors. 5 young militants armed with guns, sharp weapons and grenades stormed the Hole Artisan Cafe, took diners hostage and killed them over 12 hours. Sri Lanka slashed taxes by nearly half on Wednesday in a bid to boost an economy still struggling after deadly Easter Sunday suicide bombings that crippled the country's booming tourism sector, AFP reported. According to the French news agency, economic growth slowed to 1.6% in the second quarter of this year after the devastating attacks which killed 269 people. New President Gotabaya Rajapaksa pledged to lift growth through tax charges ahead of his landslide election earlier this month. A 15% value-added tax was cut to 8% with immediate effect. Another 2% goods and services tax will be abolished outright, AFP quoted cabinet spokesman Bandula Gunawardene as saying. The construction industry, which has slumped hard this year, will also see its corporate tax burden cut from 28 to 14%. Gunawardene claimed that the measures would not hit the national budget. "We expect revenue volumes to go up when the tax burden is smaller. There will be better compliance," he reportedly said. You are watching a Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Lionel Messi scored 1 goal and set up 2 more in his 700th game for Barcelona to ensure the Spanish club reached the Champions League knockout rounds with a 3-1 win over Borussia Dortmund yesterday. Messi fed Luis Suarez to open the scoring at Camp Nou in the 29th minute before his strike partner returned the assist for the Argentine star to add a goal of his own moments later. Messi then led a counter-attack and played substitute Antoine Griezmann through on goal to put the result beyond doubt in the 67th minute. Messi took his club record tally to 613 goals as he closed in on Xavi Hernandez's all-time appearance milestone of 767 matches for the Spanish club. The Argentine has 114 goals in Europe's top-tier tournament. Barcelona have 11 points in Group F and secured top spot with 1 game remaining. Dortmund have 7 but are behind Inter Milan on goal difference after the Italian team won 3-1 at Slavia Prague. Liverpool and Napoli drew 1-1 in a cagey encounter at Anfield, leaving both sides with work to do to reach the last 16 in the final Champions League group matches. A freak goal from Valencia's Daniel Wass earned the Spanish side a 2-2 draw in an epic encounter against England's Chelsea that left both sides waiting to book their place in the Champions League's knockout stages. Former world tennis number 1 Andy Murray said he can finally play without worrying about his hip following career-saving surgery in January, but expects next year's Australian Open to be the biggest test of his progress. The 32-year-old looked on the verge of ending his career at the start of the year, but returned to the singles action on the ATP Tour in August following resurfacing surgery and won his first trophy since 2017, beating Stan Wawrinka in Antwerp last month. Having played only one match in Britain's run to the last 4 of the Davis Cup finals in Spain last week due to a growing issue, Murray is hoping to build up his fitness ahead of his first Grand Slam of 2020. 3 times Grand Slam champion Murray is also scheduled to play in the inaugural ATP Cup in Australia starting January 3rd. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. 18 killed in bus accident in Argakachi. Truck overturns in Humla, killing 3. Silence period for by-elections begins. Election Commission urges all to abide by election code. Banking system in Nepal becomes insecure. Police bust a new group involved in forging signatures to withdraw cash. Bangladesh sentences 7 to death. Court convicts them of 2016 cafe attack. And Messi scores in 700th game for Barca. Chelsea-Liverpool held in Champions League. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.